we're here in Fez. It's the oldest city in Morocco. It's the cultural capital and it's a must-see destination if you come to Morocco. So the Medina is one of the largest car-free zones in the world. There's a lot of little scooters that kind of rip by, but it's definitely one of the better places to stay here. There's over 9,000 different alleyways and kind of roads, and it goes from open air to closed. It's dark, it's light, it's a busy spot. It's so busy here, we're trying to find a spot where it's like a little bit quieter so we can actually video, and not everyone loves the camera, but this spot it's packed here, and there's always a guy who walks down the middle with a cart because it's hard to get all the items for whatever that place is selling into the Medina. There's all these sandwich spots kind of peppered throughout all over the place where it's just like a baguette, or you can get it wrapped kind of like a panini. We were able to get falafel. They always throw some vegetables on there. Sometimes there's chicken, but there's also fries every time that's just packed on, and they're always really good. We're clearly in like a restaurant section, but there's all these like patios that are set up all over the place. But there's also these really extravagant baklava station stores, I guess. So they really put everything on display well. So we're gonna try to grab something. Hello. So all these stores are like super tight, and there's no room to stand in there when people come in. But you're able to get a couple sekenefe and some baklava with pistachios and dates. That came to 40 dirham. So we had to like tuck around the corner here because it was so busy in front of that baklava station. And sure enough, we were actually looking for the blue gate and around the corner, and here it is. So this is one of the big main entrances, and we'll go over and give a better view here. We made it to the blue gate, which is one of the main entrances into the Medina here in Fez. On one side, when you're inside, is green, which is the color of Islam. On the other side is blue, which is the color of Fez. Rainbow Street is another really popular section in the Medina here in Fez. It's full of art on from every section of both sides of the alleyway is covered. And there's a couple art galleries.
Canadian people, they are Canada, it's coming from very kind.
Oh yeah,
yes.
All the time.
But,
so what do we have here?
Yes, we have here, for example, the first explorer for that shop, it's still in the same phase that shop. Because that shop, it's come from generation to generation.
Oh yeah?
And that person, he don't make some other glass or other furniture here. He still puts only on the plates of the ceramic. For example, what we have here, the cashews, we have the almond, and also we have the peanuts, and also we have the most beautiful things and the important, that is the most of the tourists, they are doing now that it's not the olive, that is the plums.
Plums?
Yes, the plums. That one we squeeze. We conserve that with the lemon and with the salt, and we left it 2 months, then he giving some the beautiful taste. If you want to taste one, no problem, that's what it's for free, my friend.
Sure.
You can taste.
Does it have a nut inside or a
no,
pit?
that is the pits, yes. But it's sort of giving some the nice taste, yes.
This is a plummus as well?
Yes, the plummus, yes. It's not the olives.
I thought it was an olive.
Yeah.
So we just met Abdul Rahim, who showed us around a little bit in his shops. So we just wanted to thank him. Here's his shop. Come see it here in Fez.
Thank you so much, and welcome all Canadians to Morocco.
We're trying to find one of the tanneries. There's 3 big ones here. Everyone keeps telling us to go to a different one. So we got told where to go, and I think we're at the small tannery. There's a small, medium, and large, and this ended up being the closest one that we got directed to. So we're gonna go see what it's all about in here. There's no one to actually tell us where to go once we got here, but we're just gonna follow kind of the path. Okay, we're in the mix here of the tannery.
Hi.
Hello.
Good. You're welcome.
Thank you. And this guy that we're following is the guardian of the tanneries. So he's given us in-depth guide. So we just came across this guy. All in the back is all these different animals, I guess furs behind him. And then he's painting it with the dye. Lots of flies around and just stacks and stacks of animal hides. On top of this are also more hides that are just drying. I'm assuming, I don't know if they have been dyed or not, but Again, like a super strong smell, lots of bugs floating around. And this guy is directing us to come follow him. One of the workers just explained to us that the hides get put into lime, which are these pools, for 15 days, and then they get put into that, almost like a washer, that big round that rotates them for a while. And then they get put into those pools over there, which are full of pigeon stool. That causes all the oils and fats to be removed from the hides. The guy that we were talking to earlier also mentioned that it's really quiet here right now because it's a vacation for the workers. But so there's only a couple actually working, but usually there's many more. But it is odd that you can just walk in here and walk around, and a lot of people are doing it, so it's definitely like a thing. And everyone here that's actually here is totally fine with it. Okay. That's finished sheepskin. It was actually pretty interesting in the tannery there that thankfully that guy was working and he gave us a little tour. It's a bit of a sensory overload, like the sights, there's all this coagulated fat and like almost like it's came to the top of the pools. The smell is very strong, there's bugs everywhere, and the sun hits you, so it's really hot. We're trying to find the ruined garden. We were asked a couple people how to get there, and a kid tried to convince us to go to his mom's restaurant instead. But we got back on track and we're not too far from it right now. We actually found it, so it is open. The kid who wanted us to go to his mom's place was lying. It's supposed to be lots of like hanging plants. It's supposed to be a little touristy as well, but this place has like a great little vibe here. Hello, just two? We even found this guy creeping around here at the ruined garden. I don't know, he just came out from out of the blue. This place was great for kind of like a quick coffee stop. Really cool little spot. It's starting to get really busy. It's supposed to have really good food as well. Crush the coffee and on we go back into the Medina. We found Najjarine, Place de Najjarine, which we were told by a bunch of people on the way here was closed. It's just a really little square, but very authentic. It has this fountain, this Moroccan style fountain that's very popular on social media, as well as there's a wood museum that's closed right now. All around the square is just a couple shops of like the ceramic shops, as well as there's a souk Najjarine that has a skinny little souk. We just found this tiny little Moroccan style restaurant that serves tagine, so we're gonna grab dinner here and we'll show you how the tagine works. And it also has, like, look how tiny this place is, but there's also an upstairs which has a tiny stairway right there. All right, so we got our tagine here, and the way the tagine works is that they bake it in the oven, and then all the vegetables get cooked within the juice while in the oven. So that's like a typical, very authentic Moroccan cuisine, along with a couple different salads, bread, and water. And that was 70 dirham. Morning, so we're back in the Medina and FES here on day 2, and we've walked by this guy a whole bunch of times, so we're gonna get a coffee. And what's with spices? With spices, right? So this has ginger, cardamom, cinnamon, anise.
And this one is the sun from the desert.
Okay.
The sun from the desert, they keep the fire.
It holds the heat.
Yes, I open.
And is there heat under, the fires underneath there? Coffee was 15 dirham, and he puts like a chunk of like a piece of cinnamon bark as well as actual rose. So it's very full of spices, and that's just like a regular coffee, but it's very hot right now, but still really good. All throughout the Medina are these riads, but the thing is about a riad is that it's just one door on the wall. Little do we know, on the inside it's this massive courtyard of a really interesting, unique hotel. This one is called Dar Nanita, and it has a really nice little courtyard. There's, I think, 4 rooms here with a terrace on the top. So this just has a small little bathroom, queen-size bed, and there's breakfast in the morning. So we just wanted to show you how skinny these, like this pathway is to get to the actual riad itself. There's a point where I have to actually turn because it's so skinny, and the reason why is because this area was colonized by the French, and to prevent horses from coming into this area, they created a alleyway down to that section that's so small horses wouldn't actually be able to fit, and they could only stay inside the Medina portion. Place Saffarine is another cool little square that we found, which is popular for all the coppersmiths. So this is where they make all the pots and pans. This is a bunch of the different things that you can see that's for sale here. Very popular. All these big sinks. So we're just on another square, a bunch of roosters here. Another busy spot of restaurants, and everyone's trying to get us to go to their mother's restaurant where they work outside and then their mom cooks inside. Especially this guy.
Excuse me, can I show you the place to take it, the car to come back?
We're good right now. We just arrived at the Chouarra Tannery, which is another like popular one. They gave us some mint to kind of help mask the smell, so we're gonna go up to the terrace on the top and see what it looks like. There's a very strong smell. It's just like it's like rotten flesh, I guess.
You're welcome, sir.
Oh, thank you.
And the famous and the first tannery in Morocco, Chouarra.
Yeah, Ryan.
Salam alaikum.
Salam alaikum.
You're welcome.
This tannery is a little bit different because they have kind of the pools of different colored dye that are very pronounced. Like you can see red, dark brown, there's a green one. I saw a purple one as well, and they're using different things like saffron or mint or different, I think he said herbs, to create the different colors of dye. And these guys are standing in the pits of dye, like just with all the hides and stuff, which is kind of crazy. I can only imagine what it does to your skin after a while. Just trying to get back down to where the pools of the dye are. So we're going this secret route there. So we were up on the top, and then this is kind of where we were hoping to get. It's crazy that they let people go and walk around all around the dye pools, but oh wow. Like this one's very red, quite a bit more pronounced than everything else. The smell is crazy here. And these are all the hides that have just been dyed. Cow skin.
Cow skin.
Interesting.
It's a natural color.
Wow. Like, what a place here. And then the fact that we are just walking amongst all of this is also a little crazy, and they just bring you around. You're supposed to pay the guardian of the tannery anywhere from 20 to 100 dirham, and then he'll bring you out here. I can only imagine hanging out in these pools all day. We just got a free tour of that tannery. The fact that you can walk around on those is crazy. People guaranteed to fall in there and it would be nuts. But pretty awesome experience. And I just saw a thing about these different styles of doors here. They have a high knocker for when people used to come by when they were on a horse, and then a lower door knocker for if you came by on foot. It was just a different way, and they produce a different noise. So the person inside knows if you had came here on an animal or just on foot. Just grabbed some baklava from the same place we grabbed it yesterday, and gonna have a coffee while we enjoy the view of the Blue Gate. We'll see you next week.